So I guess the last thing I want to talk to you about my traumatic events in life is my mother. It's probably one of my biggest things that, well, because she's my mother, she can affect me probably the most in my life. And so when I was 12, I remember I was about 10 or 12 years old. She came up to me one of those mornings and she said, I can't be there for you anymore. I'll have to have my own time and do my own thing. And I'm sorry, but I can't. I remember she started working right around that time. And I also remember her not really spending much time with me. And other than I'd go to the grocery store with her or things like that. But she didn't really take care of me anymore or watch over me, none of those things. So, yeah. When I met my boyfriend, who I've been with now for almost 30 years, before my wedding, she said the happiest day of her life is the day that I leave him, and that she said I had to choose between her or him, and that I couldn't have both of them in my life. And so I chose my husband-to-be because I didn't want my mother to be controlling me like that. And so I had, my babies and everything, and she had nothing to do with her grandchildren. She didn't talk to me at all for those 7 years. And when we got out of the military for a while, and then my husband got back in, and we lived in my hometown for 6 months. She had my father disappear for those 6 months. Every day I would drive around the town and go to his work to try and find him, and he was never anywhere to be found, ever. He was never at the places where he had his coffee breaks. He was never at home, never in his garage. I would drive by the house every day just trying to look for him, and he disappeared for almost 6 months. My brother, I never saw him at all. My mother would never talk to me. She worked at a place called the Salvation Army every day, and I would go there just so I could try and get a glimpse of her every day, and I would pretend to go there to look in the store, the thrift store, and whenever she would see me, she would turn her back on me and walk out into the back room. That was really difficult because it's my mother. I'd go home many times and I'd cry because I know why she hated me so much. And people think that it's me that's angry with her, but she's done a lot of terrible things to hurt me. Anyways, for those 6 months, that's what she did, and really broke my heart. Mother's Day came when I was there, and I bought a necklace that had a really heavy heart on it to wear around your neck, and I gave that to her for Mother's Day, and I didn't know if she still has it to this day. But I wanted to show her how heavy my heart was because of the way she was treating me. I would try and call her. She'd never pick up the phone. I would drop by and she would never talk to me. I'd need help with my children with questions and stuff. And my dad would always say when I pick up, "What do you want now?" He'd say, "What do you want now? What is it you want to know now?" And I finally stopped calling because he was doing that, and Mom didn't care about really answering my questions when I had my first baby because she was never there for me. When I got older, she, even to this day, she lives close to my sister, and I have her number, and I'd call and leave messages. She never calls back. She never talks to me. It's like I'm not her daughter anymore. It's like she doesn't care if I'm part of her life or not. She doesn't know my children, and my children don't know her. I think that hurts more than anything, that They have no idea what my side of the family is or is about, or how I was raised. Now, granted, my mother was an orphan, and so she doesn't really know what feelings is or how to be nice. She can be probably the biggest bully ever, and she doesn't feel inside. She doesn't know what love is. But I've told her since I was a little girl that we love her and that we're her children. You know, she has an obligation to take care of us and to be there for us. And she just severed that tie from me as well, like my doctor did. And hates me for no reason. It's just not fair. But that's what I have to live with. And so it's hurtful. I decided to love her anyway, forgive her anyway, because she can't take that away from me. It's the only thing she can't take away from me is that. So I feel like I'm in this world alone. I had to raise my kids alone. That's what you do when you join the military. You just get taken away from your family and you never really go back. So they've never, because of distance, they've never got to know my children at all. I know she would have loved them if she got to know them, but whatever. What can I do, right? Nothing. So I don't have what most other people have. And I have a husband who wants me alone all to himself, and he's done that through lots of ways. Whenever I would make a friend, he would flirt with them and tell me how sexy and hot they are and how he'd want to fuck them, and I just would start making uglier friends, so he would stop doing that. And then it just got less and less to the point where I stopped making friends at all because I couldn't bring them home. I couldn't have them because he would take them away from me by being friends with them more himself, and that was his way of controlling who I got to know, to the point where I was only his, and that I had nobody left but him. And that's a husband's ultimate control, is where his woman has nobody to talk to or rely on or share stories. And that's the way I think he likes it. He likes me at home staring at walls and doing dishes and cleaning floors, housewife shit, and having sex with him. That's where I seem to only matter. But sometimes he's nice to me. Depends on the day, depends on the hour. My children are what make me want to wake up every day. Quite honestly, they are what has made my life bearable. So, there's just so much shitty things that have happened to me in my life that has changed who I am. It's just really maddening. Lost a lot of friends through the years in the military because you go from posting to posting and you say goodbye to people and you meet new people. And then when we got out of the military life and into the civilian life, we're in a town where everybody's got their nose up in the air and they're all so damn stuck up. Or the Mennonites only talk to the Mennonites, and they'll sit there around you and talk in another language so you don't understand them, and it's the rudest thing. They're supposed to be the most religious people, but I'm sorry, that's not religion when you outcast people that don't look like you or dress like you, and they judge you, and they stare at you, and the children stare at you, and it's really, really terrible, and they make everybody in their families believe that they're better than everybody else, and that's just... I live in a community like that. I thought I was going to retire here, but I got to retire in a place where there's good people around. I don't find a lot of that here so far, but I had to find a place where my children could call it home, and so I guess I've accomplished that much. Alright, I'm going to let you go. I am grateful to be alive, really. I mean, could always be worse. Bye.